Late Nights on Air, written by Canadian author Elizabeth Hay and recipient of the 2007 Giller Prize, serves as a heartfelt tribute to a bygone era of idiosyncratic local radio. The novel is set in 1975, a time when television is swiftly supplanting radio as the dominant medium. The narrative unfolds within the confines of a public radio station nestled in the remote town of Yellowknife, situated on the shores of Great Slave Lake in the Northwest Territories. A motley crew of individuals converges at this outpost, each with their own motivations and aspirations, some on the cusp of greatness while others have already peaked. As the story progresses, a year in their lives unfolds, intricately weaving together the demise of their chosen medium with the imperiled traditions of the native peoples and the wild, untamed North, threatened by encroachments such as an impending oil pipeline and the encroaching influence of the South. Harry Boyd, now in his 40s, returns to his roots as a radio DJ at the station after a spectacular failure as a television host in Toronto. He carries within him the disillusionment of a has-been, particularly since he had displayed early promise only to be compelled to return to the Northern Service broadcasting station that served as his launching pad. Originally hired for the late-night slot, Harry finds himself thrust into the role of interim manager when the station's previous manager absconds with a waitress. His new responsibility entails wrangling the misfits who populate the station. Prior to his departure, the former manager brings on board Dido, a captivating announcer hailing from the Netherlands, whose distinctive accent and velvety voice enrapture listeners. Dido exudes an unconventional charm, captivating the attention and admiration of Harry and his male colleagues. She possesses an undeniable beauty, with broad shoulders and slender hips. Dido seeks refuge at the station, having fled a disastrous marriage that concluded with an affair involving her former father-in-law, the love of her life. Eleanor Dew assumes the role of the station's office manager, receptionist, and central figure. She acts as the linchpin, efficiently coordinating the station's affairs and serving as the primary point of contact. The intertwining lives of Harry, Dido, Eleanor, and their fellow radio enthusiasts unfurl against the backdrop of a shifting era, where radio's influence wanes, and the unique essence of the northern landscapes and cultures faces an uncertain future. Eleanor, a middle-aged woman who possesses an understated beauty and pensive nature, nurtures aspirations of becoming a poet. She is also deeply devoted to her Christian faith, which faces a severe test in the face of her profound loneliness. Eleanor has endured the pain of a disastrous marriage, characterized by an ill-suited partner who left her, returned, but refused to consummate their renewed commitment. These experiences challenge the core of her religious beliefs. The latest addition to the station's staff is Gwen, a timid and unassuming aspiring announcer from Ontario, burdened with an untrained voice that appears unpromising. Encouraged to seek opportunities in remote regions to establish a foothold in the radio industry, Gwen embarks on a 3,000-mile journey to commence her apprenticeship in Yellowknife. Recognizing her potential, Harry takes it upon himself to work with Gwen, helping her refine her on-air delivery and alleviate her tortured sound. Among the staff, Eddy stands out as the station's resident rebel. With fiery red hair, a disquieting aura, and an unsettlingly aggressive demeanor, Eddy's enigmatic past raises apprehension among his colleagues. Another member of the team is Ralph Cody, a local resident in his 60s, granted a 10-minute slot to review books on air. Ralph shares a profound love for the Canadian North and extensively captures its landscapes through photography. He holds Eleanor in high regard from a distance, yet struggles to approach her. At the outset of the year, romantic entanglements permeate the airways of the station. Dido captivates the hearts of many, but her affections are solely reserved for Eddy. They enter into a passionate and tumultuous relationship that occasionally turns abusive. After Eddy strikes her, Dido ends their connection and turns to Harry for solace. In an attempt to win her over, Harry indulges in an extravagant display of ardor by setting a news script on fire. Briefly, Dido and Harry cohabit, but their connection becomes tinged with a realization that Dido is leveraging his emotional dependency while Harry romanticizes their bond. Meanwhile, Ralph remains an ardent admirer of Eleanor, admiring her from a distance, but unable to bridge the gap between them. Within this dynamic environment, love, longing, and unrequited desires intertwine, painting a vivid picture of the complex relationships that unfold at the radio station. Amidst the personal struggles of the station's staff, Yellowknife becomes the backdrop for the arrival of Judge Thomas Berger, the Royal Commissioner of the Mackenzie Valley Pipeline. In 1975, he embarks on a journey across the Canadian North, investigating the potential consequences of an Arctic oil and gas pipeline on the lands and wildlife habitats of the native Dean people in the Mackenzie Valley. With his gentle and patient demeanor, Berger conducts interviews with the Dean community, oil company executives, activists, and others, seeking to understand the various perspectives surrounding the pipeline. After Berger's departure in the spring, Eddy and Dido make their exit as well. Reunited, they embark on a journey to the United States, where they find fame and recognition within the circles of Los Angeles and New York. Their relationship persists until Dido's untimely death. Meanwhile, the remaining members of the station's staff find themselves captivated by Gwen's unwavering fascination with the real-life explorer John Hornby. This eccentric Englishman, who tragically perished alongside two companions in a cabin in the Barrens during the harsh winter of 1927, has intrigued Gwen since she first listened to a radio show titled Death on the Barren Ground as a child. As luck would have it, the biographer of Hornby resides near Yellowknife, and Harry shares a passing acquaintance with him. Harry, Ralph, Eleanor, and Gwen seize the opportunity to spend 4 weeks of the summer retracing Hornby's ill-fated expedition. The Barrens, a desolate and treeless expanse covered in ice, stretches far north into the Arctic interior, where the perpetual light seems unending. The journey tests the physical endurance and resolve of the four travelers as they traverse frozen lakes, backpack through unforgiving terrain, and encounter the formidable presence of a grizzly bear. They stand in awe as they witness the majestic sight of an enormous caribou herd. Undeterred by the challenges, they persevere and eventually reach the cabin where Hornby met his demise, finding solace and marveling at the beauty of the tundra. However, tragedy strikes during the expedition when Ralph, in a moment of recklessness, makes a fateful decision that leads to his own death. The event casts a shadow over the journey, leaving the remaining companions to grapple with grief and contemplate the fragile nature of human existence amidst the vastness of the Arctic landscape. Meanwhile, amidst the trials and tribulations, Harry and Gwen find a profound and enduring love that extends beyond the novel's main narrative. This love story continues even as the novel reaches its conclusion, depicted in a poignant coda where Harry and Gwen, now together, read about Dido's untimely demise due to an illness. As they absorb this news, their young son David happily plays outside, unaware of the weight of the world around him. The novel concludes with the surviving characters profoundly transformed, although not necessarily perfected or completely repaired. Their flaws and challenges have shifted, and their self-awareness has deepened, but there are no quick or simple resolutions to their inherently human problems. The characters have evolved, and their journeys have left them changed, but the complexities and uncertainties of life persist, reminding us of the intricate nature of the human experience. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.